Government corruption has never been more prevalent or caused more harm. It's why extremism is on the rise. It's why the financial gap between the haves and have-nots has never been wider. And it's why our planet is at risk of an extinction level tragedy. That's why I need your help to keep exposing the truth about the rot on both sides of the aisle. Become a supporter or a friend of the show today by clicking on the coffee link in the description box below. Friends of the show join me on a Zoom hangout once a month, and you guys can ask me any questions you want, and I can get to know you better. But the most important reason to help is to keep the show alive. Together, we can and will save our country and our planet. Thanks in advance and enjoy the show. And then another series of events that kind of came into more focus took place on January 5th. So according to White House aide Sarah Matthews, Trump had been in a bad mood for many days leading up to January 5th. Then the committee shared that Trump spoke to Bannon that day. He spoke to Bannon twice on January 5th. Well, two interesting things happened after Trump spoke to Bannon. First of all, Matthews said that all of a sudden, Trump was in a great mood on the evening of the 5th. Then they also said that after Trump's first call with Bannon, that's when Bannon went on his podcast and told his audience that the next day, quote, all hell is going to break loose. And he also told them that it wasn't going to go down the way anyone was imagining it. And he said, quote, strap in. You guys probably remember that. So that's a very interesting and a little more than coincidental string of events, right? Another thing we discovered is that numerous people were aware that Trump was going to call for everyone to march to the Capitol in advance. So that blows his whole argument that, oh, no, this was just a last minute thing. I kind of did it off the cuff. No, bullshit. He totally had it planned. All of the people closest to him knew it. Convicted felon and Trump minion Ali Alexander actually mentioned it in a text message. So they showed that. They also showed another text sent by Kylie Kramer. Now, you guys probably remember her. She's one of the women who runs Women for Trump. It's an organization she has with her mother. She also sent a very damning text to Mike Lindell. She said that Trump was going to tell everyone to head down to the Capitol after his speech, but he was going to try to make it seem spontaneous. And she warned him not to tell anyone because she said, you know, people might try to thwart the idea, or I could get in trouble with the authorities, basically the authorities who arrange the permits for things like that. We also found out that after Trump had his very contentious phone call with his vice president, with Mike Pence, wherein Mike Pence said, no, I'm not going to help you steal the election. I'm not going to do what you're asking on January 6th. After that call, Trump went to his speechwriters and told them to reinsert a comment about Pence. This was a comment that had been removed at the advice of his counsel. And then, of course, as we all know, he ad-libbed a bunch of other phrases and statements that they also advised against. We also got more proof that the rotten apples don't fall far from the tree. Ivanka Trump lied under oath. I know you guys were also shocked. I mean, she is truly daddy's little girl. So here's the deal with that. One of her aides, a woman named Julie Radford, testified on camera about how Trump was very upset after his call with Pence and how Ivanka was upset about the call with Pence. And she told Radford all about the call and that she had to calm her father down. Well, the committee asked Ivanka about this and she denied it. She denied that Trump was upset or that she had to calm him down. We also heard from numerous Trump administration officials and advisors, as we have in previous weeks, how there was little to no evidence of widespread fraud. Cipollone said he believed that Trump should have conceded. He thought that Pence did the right thing. Trump advisor Bernie Kerik also wrote an email, and they showed that email. He admitted to someone that it was, quote, impossible to determine if there was widespread fraud. Jason Miller, total Trump acolyte, total Trump minion, also said in his deposition that the fraud evidence was, quote, thin, and he admitted that that was an understatement. And then they showed more video testimony from Cassidy Hutchins, where she told the committee investigators that After Giuliani realized that there wasn't any election fraud evidence, he started exploring constitutional loopholes. And apparently, after January 6th, Brad Parscale sent a whole bunch of text messages. He sent them to Trump spokesperson Katrina Pearson, and he told her that he felt guilty for helping Trump win. And he admitted to her in those texts that Trump's rhetoric caused the death of a woman. There was also an eyebrow-raising email that was shared. This was sent by Congressman Mo Brooks, in which he wrote that, quote, only citizens can exert pressure over Congress. And he was alluding to the fact that basically it would be up to members of the public to overturn the election. And the committee also shared a recorded interview with a Twitter employee, and he said that he tried to warn the company about the possibility of violence based on the posts that they were witnessing on Twitter. And this was after Trump's tweet about, the wild rally. He said, quote, it felt as if a mob was being organized, and quote, we were at the mercy of a violent crowd that was locked and loaded. And the Twitter employee also admitted that if Trump was anyone else, he would have been permanently banned from the platform long before January 6th. The former Oath Keepers spokesperson that I mentioned the other day, Van Tattenhove, he shared with the group that the Oath Keepers is very violent, that it's filled with bigots. And he said that he quit his job when he overheard Oath Keeper members talking about how the Holocaust was fake. However, the most shocking thing that he shared was that Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes had once asked him to create a deck of cards with the images and names of targets on them. So essentially the same thing that our government created after 9/11 to signify which terrorists to target and, their ranking based on their importance. So Van Tattenhove said that Rhodes wanted Hillary Clinton to be listed as the Queen of Hearts, signifying that she was a high-value target. So that was pretty much it today, guys. And they have moved the Thursday hearing to next week, so I'll keep you posted on that. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.